on Enid and Agnes.
Yeah.
Agnes is a very small child, so let's leave the children out of it.
His favorite co-star is himself.
Yeah.
That's my headline right there.
Yeah,
Perfect way
yeah,
to
that's
end
good. That's
it.
really good. Use that.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it runs through the whole show, but specifically this season, one of Emma's lines is "Be your own psycho." So I think that's important, sort of like being yourself.
Every family has dark chapters, Wednesday.
If there's ever a time to unburden yourself with the truth, now is it. A life hangs in the balance.
You guys have, I would say, took center stage, even more than
Thank you.
Wednesday. Naturally, characters started off as enemies, but now people are already shipping your characters together after part two, like especially after the dance. What are your thoughts on the development of that friendship?
I
I love that
love
they're
that we
friends.
could be friends. I know finally, because like Enid just argues with everybody. She's just always arguing with somebody. And I'm so glad that by the end of it, we're not at each other's throats and we can be genuine friends because I think
So nice that
Agnes
we
is
don't have to give
somebody
each other
that
dirty looks.
exactly, exactly.
Let's talk about the dead dance. Obviously, it's iconic. You must have put so much work into it. Um, can you talk us through, each of you, what it was like to create that? How long it took to nail?
Well, I'm a bit
If
of a
you wanna go-
perfectionist. Yeah, sure. So I really wanted to get it right, and I knew obviously it was quite a big moment in the series, so making sure that we sort of nailed it. I think we would workshop ideas and with Corey, who was a wonderful choreographer, and sort of see what worked, see what didn't. I think we had, I'm not sure, how long did we rehearse for?
2 weeks, I think, 2 full weeks.
And then just getting to let loose on set was so fun.
That was, it seemed
Yeah.
like it was such an intense thing to do, like so much pressure. Did you
Yeah,
guys
it's
use the
it's kind
song?
of weird when you suddenly get in front of a whole crew and do this that you've been rehearsing for a few weeks, and then you're really confident in it, and then you get in front of a camera, and then you're like, oh,
Ah, yeah, like
yeah.
nervous.
The screeners I got, it didn't have Lady Gaga's song on it. Did you guys have to sort of work to basically a beat as opposed to
Yes, we would have a beat, and then Jemima, who was one of the dancers we were working with, be like one, two, three, and four, five,
Yeah.
and six. So we would do that even when we did it on set. That's what we had.
Yeah,
what
we
was
had
it
a click track.
a click track? Wow, like that seems like even more pressure to me. I don't know how you do it.
It is hard because lyrics and music influences dance so much and influences the way that you move. So we were trying to accurately get it as close as possible. So when you switch out the songs, it doesn't look like we were dancing to something else. But I think we did a good job.
Yeah, you did great. I feel like what was your thoughts when you finally saw it?
Still
I think it was
haven't
just
watched it,
relief.
so I don't know.
It looks good, I
Um,
promise. You look great.
Okay, good.
Evie, as a new character, you've made such an impression as Agnes. Where do you see her going in season three? Like, was it daunting joining such a loved show as such a main character straight out the gate?
Definitely. I mean, I was a huge fan of the first season, so to get to go from being a fan to getting to be a part of the show that you love was amazing. And I'd really love to see how their like trio dynamic progresses with Enid and Wednesday and Agnes. I think that would be really cool to see how they sort of how their friendship develops.
Emma, Enid arguably made such a sacrifice, like the ultimate sacrifice in the season finale, by changing for Wednesday. What do you think spurred her on to make that decision? And what do you want to see happen with that dynamic?
I think Ian is just really a selfless person, so I don't think anything really had to convince her. I think it was a no-brainer for her. Um, obviously she wants to save her best friend. Um, so it's either she stays a human and Wednesday dies, or she can sacrifice a bit of her humanity and save her best friend. So I think it was a no-brainer for her. Um, I'd like to not be stuck as a werewolf forever in season three. So we'll see what happens with that. But I just hope that none of us are at each other's throats anymore. I hope we can be friends.
What do you want people to take away most from the show this season, because I feel like so much of it was done. There was like a lot of power plays involved, and I feel like both of you guys sort of had an influence on that. Like,
I think being yourself is a big message that sort of, I think it runs through the whole show, but specifically this season, one of Emma's lines is "Be your own psycho." So I think that's important, sort of like being yourself.
I just want people to have fun, just kind of, it's a good, just turn your brain off and enjoy it, don't think too deeply about it.
we have to ask, as a Brit, Emma, you got to work very closely with Billie Piper this season. What was it like working with her, and how do you think that dynamic is going to affect going forward?
She's amazing. What a woman. So sweet. She's really good at scolding you as a teacher, to the point where when we were filming and she was getting mad at me, I was like, I'm sorry. She's so lovely. And I hope I get to do more with her next season because she's such a treat to work with. And what a great character. Very interesting character.
Going back to what I said before, like, what are your thoughts on the idea that people are now shipping you? Because Emma, obviously, you had to deal with it quite a lot with Jenna in season 1, and now it's kind of moved to you two. Like, what are your thoughts on that dynamic?
On Enid and Agnes.
Yeah.
Agnes is a very small child, so let's leave the children out of it. But ship people who are the same age. That's what I'll say.
Let's start with Hunter. Tyler, he gets put through the ringer on this show. I don't understand. So much trauma can happen to one person. What was your reaction when you discovered so much of what was going to happen in season 2 was centered around you?
I mean, I was just really excited when I saw all the twists that he got. Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, his mom, like how awesome. Like he finally kind of gets everything he wants, and then it just is so not that from the very beginning of their relationship on screen this season.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I got the spoilers saying Tyler meets his mom, and I was like, oh, and then I saw it and I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, she chained up, slapped. All he wants is like her love, and then the zombie uncle walks in the door, and they have this nice relationship. Yeah. A huge part of like our dynamic was talking about just like how jealous Tyler is of Isaac, and he gets that from her. And I mean, they have their own kind of thing going on.
Speaking of, Owen, what's your thoughts on Isaac's relationship with Francoise and how that develops throughout the series?
It developed really organically. I just had so much fun working with Frances. We were like, I don't know, it was just felt like we were off to the races from our first scene together. She brought so much life to it, and she was doing things I didn't expect out of the character from how I'd been reading it for a couple months before I started working with her. So yeah, a lot of that familial relationship that people are talking about. I mean, it just came from, I don't know, the relationship with Tyler was so interesting and conflicting. He parents him, he fights with him as a brother figure, and he soaks up Francoise's love, and so I think there was just a lot of space as well to complicate the relationship between Isaac and his sister, so we were just filling in that room that was left for us. I don't think we never sat down and talked about it at all.
Hunter, so many people have grown so attached to Tyler. Why do you think that is, even when he's like at his absolute worst?
I don't know. I mean, that's really nice. I think some people, just like to see a character that is, so dark and gets to be a villain. Like some of it's just that's fun to watch at any point. But then I think, like you said at the beginning, Tyler has gone through so much. I think a lot of people are kind of hoping that he gets a break in a sense.
Well, he kind of did in the sort of in the finale where Wednesday lets him go. Was that a surprise to you when you saw that scene? And why do you think
Absolutely.
he did it?
Yeah, I mean, just their dynamic throughout the whole show, and the fact that when it comes to it, like instead of killing him and kind of ending it all, she frees him. They actually kind of like help each other out. She's freeing him of his masters again. He's helping, in that moment with her. Um, yeah, and Jenna came up with that last line of hers, which was so cool to witness her kind of improvising and coming up with that.
What the I missed?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that was improv. It sounded so like naturally like
I know.
something they would say.
Yeah, she came in with so many great ideas. It was really incredible to watch.
Owen, like obviously you've come in for this short but very sweet arc for season 2. How did you know, when did you know how juicy your role was going to be?
Not for a while. I had a meeting with Alan Miles where they gave me a general arc of the character that included the knowledge about Thing. Um, and then after that, it was a while until I got the back half of the scripts even. So it was very shrouded in mystery. Uh, I mean, I remember like playing chicken with you, Hunter, about because you found out through somebody, but you didn't know I was allowed to know. So we were like out at a pub, like being like, do you know
It
about
was like, do you know
Thing
anything?
at all? And eventually we spilled, but yeah, it took a minute. Most of it was I was just kind of, I don't know, letting my imagination run wild.
What are your thoughts, Owen, on, I mean, obviously the other big relationship you have on the show is Isaac and Slurp and Pugsley. How much do you think he actually cared for Pugsley, or how much do you think was down to his own means to an end?
Yeah, I think it was a capacity thing. I think I had a lot of fun uh, with that relationship. I mean, it was just so fun to work with, Isaac and Musa. They're a great time, but that pet owner thing and that sweetness, I think for me at least, was born out of a limited capacity for the more complicating feelings of life, and then as um, Isaac developed, all of his flaws start to get in the way of any ability to feel that kind of love and connection. I think he's quite manipulative, which was a fun uh, turn. I think I thought maybe the expectation would be that he would have a soft spot for Pugsley upon full animation, and I find it really interesting that maybe he really doesn't. If anything, he relishes in getting to turn the tables. So I really enjoyed
Meat
it.
sandwich thing was
Yeah.
so.
Hunter, how much do you think we're going to see of Tyler in season 3?
Damn, I hope a lot.
Well, there was a rumor online that was swirling that you were leaving this season, and then like obviously like by the
I
end.
can't with these AI voice videos.
Those
Yeah.
those things are crazy. I didn't know they existed until like 2 days
Crazy.
ago.
No,
Oh.
allegedly, did you know Fielder's actually really jealous of Jenna? And that's why I couldn't come to the premiere.
Is that the subject of yours? Whoa.
Yes.
Okay, then what do you want to happen in season 3? What do you hope to see more of?
I want Tyler to I mean, I think I'll always kind of like wrestle with the morality and then the kind of like hide versus human side of himself, but I think we've still yet to see him be in control because, obviously Laurel was in control. He thought killing her because their bond had weakened would free him. He didn't know that makes Hydes go crazy and that he was like, in all of episode 5, he's just kind of losing touch with reality and blinded by rage and dying. And then he's under his mother and Isaac's control basically for the last 3 episodes. Yeah, and so then we kind of see him at the end. Knows he's gonna die. He doesn't have a master. He's kind of lost all hope, and then it's this one little glimmer of hope that comes from Capri's character. So I think he's like, what do I have to lose? Like, truly, I've lost everyone. It can't get worse.
Final question. Owen, can you talk through how it felt having to fight yourself to defeat yourself in the final scene? Because that's like equal parts hilarious and brutal.
Yeah, it was so fun. I was really interested in the idea of like a little of a real sense of humiliation for Isaac here, um, just as a, I don't know, a way of getting some sort of comeuppance. But I don't know. I mean, it was really physically interesting and so fun to try and compartmentalize those things and to be at war with yourself. It's hard. It's hard to talk about. Kind of. I don't know. It was so active, but I mean, I just remember we were having the best time, like just chasing fun ideas and moments. You know, Tim would come in and say like, okay, we're gonna do a couple where you're holding the camera, so it's like a GoPro, and then so you're like, I'm like punching myself in the face with a camera lens all day, you know, and the next day comes and, you know, we're reworking how a way that he, like the fish hook thing comes into play, you know, we're like messing around with wet willies and stuff. It was all, I don't know. That probably doesn't answer your question, but I mean, it was just like the best days of work ever. It was really fun.
No, it totally answers my question.
His favorite co-star is himself.
Yeah.
That's my headline right there.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Use that.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.